up this morning and put on a colorful robe. I glide down the staircase, feel as good as the sun is golden. Pour me some OJ in my tallest glass. Eggs over easy, 'cause I'm over you at last. I hear the news, paper boy biking up the street. He's shouting today's headline. Sounds like music to me. Extra, extra, read all about it. Today was the day that I discovered I'm better off without him. She had strawberry hair and red wine in her stare, but all they did was mask the fact that she never really cared for me. Got my to-do list, it's been building for a while. 'Cause last month all I did was sleep and cry. Found a box of your things that I sit on your lawn. Brought that newspaper with, rang your doorbell, then I run singing extra, extra, read all about it. Today was the day that I discovered I'm better off without him. She had strawberry hair and red wine in her stare, but all they did was mask the fact that she never really cared for me. I'm at the grocery store, dancing through the aisles, picking out all the things that you said were too unhealthy. Extra, extra, read all about it. Today was the day that I discovered I'm better off without him. She had strawberry hair and red wine in her stare, but all they did was mask the fact that she never really cared for me. Extra, extra, this just in. Local man has left the sorry state he was in. Call my tailor, hit the gym, buy a boat, learn to swim. Goodbye, my lady, 'cause you weren't the flavor anywhere that could make me happy.
Hello everyone, and hello and welcome to this is switched over early, hasn't it? Brett.
The clapper on.
Got us caught out. Yeah, no clapper tonight, so here we go. So how's everyone going? How you going, Lauren and Michelle? We've already got a few people in the show, so that's really good,
Hi,
Brett.
Michelle, Lauren.
Yeah?
Welcome.
Just
And
give us guys, let us know about the audio. Give us an audio check. Checking. 1, 2, 3.
yeah. So anyhow, how is everyone? And how are you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good actually. We after that walk yesterday,
You're not
I just fell into bed, so that was interesting. Not well. I didn't actually fall to bed straight away. I thought I could stay up and actually watch a movie, but turned out it wasn't meant to be. I just kept on closing my eyes, and that was it. So it was just yeah. How you going, Sharon? How's it going? Daniel
Hi,
is here as well.
Well, it's good
10
that
seconds
Cam-
late, Daniel. Oh God.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with you? And Sharon is here as well, yeah, and Michelle, obviously. Audio sounds good, she says, so that's really good. Good to know.
So, Michelle, I hope you're feeling okay today. Yeah.
Michelle was with us yesterday, so that was really good to see us all getting up there and just getting up the mountain. I've got a video as well. Michelle, you're in it, so.
Yeah. Yes, and behind the scenes, what we got up to.
Behind the scenes, in Lamington National Park.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was really interesting, and it was interesting to see also how many people rocked up to spend the day over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Lauren says we're in lockdown for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, I just heard that. I heard that through another YouTuber that we watch now and then. Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go for that, Daniel. I just got the 8 Mini Pro, and then for the people that know, Blackmagic has brought out another 8 Mini, and it's 8 Mini ISO, so it's just basically the same key thing, but it does some extra bits and pieces.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really going to talk about it, Daniel, though, because we can bring it up, but I haven't got anything set up for it. No pictures or anything.
Yeah.
I did watch Blackmagic actually demoing it.
And there was something else we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about. Of course, we're going to talk about SmallRig, because I had a good look at their stuff. Hey, gang, Azza is here as well.
G'day, Az. Yeah. Not Blackmagic. SmallRig stuff. Yes.
Yeah, SmallRig stuff, and then of course we're going to be talking about the new Sony A7 S3, but I just don't know what more we can say. Every YouTuber has been coming on and been talking about it and dissecting it and showing footages, and anyway, we will talk about it, and we're going to talk about vlogging, etc. So that will be interesting.
That's right.
We're going to be putting maybe we might be tonight. We're putting a little bit more emphasis on video, and also we've got CCs as well. So we've got pictures to CC as well. And Steve Wag is here. Greetings all. How you going, Steve?
How you going, Steve?
Good to see you.
Yeah. So yes, so we've got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
well, how about we? Okay, so I'm shocked now. 100%. All of the internet is pro Sony S3. Well, yes. I mean, everyone is getting caught up in the wave, but I would buy that camera, Daniel. To be honest, it's just the cost. That's the big problem.
Larry,
how you going?
He's asking, could I turn my mic up? I got my mic pretty high, so unless
I'll turn it up on my side a little bit more. Just do another sound check, Brett. Just say a few things.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3. Testing.
So I just turned it up on my end a little bit more. So yeah. Just let me know, Laurie, if that is okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just turn the gain up a bit more, but yeah, just watching if I'm not peeking out. That's all.
Yeah, I mean it's people are torn between 8K and high res, 42 megapixels and 12 megapixels and really good 4K. So it's
Well, that's good.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe it's time to buy 2 cameras. Okay, so Laurie's saying it's better. Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've not much more to say. Let's get the show on the road and get the intro in, and we'll just go and just hammer away at the show now.
Yeah, and just what I thought.
So I am louder, so I'm gonna bring mine down.
I
Yeah,
think it's just because of the fact that on Skype we do, and
Yeah.
yeah,
and it's also two different types of microphones as well. So, okay. Just as we go through the show, guys, just let us know how the audio sounds and how it's going. If I'm too loud on my end, I'll bring it down. If Brett is too quiet on his end, I'll push it up a bit more. But with the levels seem well. Actually, I'm peaking a little bit. I'll bring it down a bit more. Yeah, try that.
yeah. Alon, I wish I had the A7S3 on the weekend, because I would have gave a real test out on that camera on the weekend. So at the Lamington National Park.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah. I'm always loud. Well, I've got a what is it called? A bellowing voice, so I can't help that. So just yell, Brett. Okay. See how it goes. I mean, my microphone is about that far away, so it's a good that distance from me, and that's an NT1, so that's not even a shotgun microphone or anything. Yeah, anyway, let's get into the show, Brett. Let's get out of the pre-show. Here we go. And here we are in the show proper. How you going, guys? And welcome to the show. Of course we have come back, and of course we're doing a Sunday show. We've in all this time, I think this is our 13th show now. We've had 2 Sundays off where we didn't do it. The one was the photo walk, and the other one was we just couldn't be bothered. So we've got a lot of people in the show. Brett, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Yes. How are we tonight?
How are we? So we got Sharon here, and Daniel, and Lauren, and Michelle, and all the girls are here apart from Riss. She's gone missing. And we've got Laurie here. Laurie is that's his first show. He's come in, so that's really good to see you, Laurie. And John Gatsby is here. How you going, John? Good to see you. Azar is here. How you going, Azar? And we've got a few things to talk about today, and we did a what did we do, Brett? Was a photo walk, a miniature photo walk for us, and Michelle came along. How you going, Michael? Michael is here as well, Michael Maestro.
Yeah, so and I have my son with me too. So apart from Michelle, so I want him to explore the great outdoors, nature.
Explore the great outdoors. Yeah, it's it was great. We there you go. There's Riss. Riss has finally ebbed in and finally come on the show. A bit late, Riss. There.
John's here. Yep.
We got worried about you. How you going? Yes. So first things first, Brett. I want to run a video that I took during our little get around yesterday. We went to Lamington National Park, and we just started from O'Reilly's. If anyone knows where that is, and we just did a long hike, and we came back. We started
we were
off
there about 8 p.m. onwards, 8 p.m. and then we did
8 a.m. We got there 8 a.m. and we never left until about late, so 6 o'clock or something.
We were walking back up the track in the pitch black darkness. So
we did it. We did the hardcore. We did the whole hardcore thing, and in all this time, great on you, Michelle. You just kept up with us. Yeah, so Laurie says, nice to be here.
We'll explain to you a bit more about that. Yes. Yeah. But then, hi, Jason.
Yep. You are completely right, Laurie. For video. If your main thing is photography, why would you want to buy the A7S III? Exactly, but it is. There are options these days, and it's. We'll talk about the S3 soon.
We'll bring it up.
That's all I can say.
After we get to that point, and we'll explain why. So,
Better late than never, says Riss, and Jason is here as well. How you going, Jason? We've got a few of your pictures to CC as well, so it's going to be interesting. Tried my shots on some bird shots today. Okay, osprey mainly. Well, you know what you need, Riss, is a good camera body. It's something like an A9 for that, I would say. Anyway, we've got this ongoing banter about that.
Yeah.
Magic from Sony is 2 cameras really. Any combo will be strong. Yeah. Problem is, I already got 2 cameras, Daniel, and I'm lusting for the S3, but I want to go more videos. I want to progress myself more and more into video work as well. So, yeah.
But having said that, you're still mainly photography.
Mainly photography, but it's just become more and more of a passion of mine to actually master it and try and get on top of it. And like anything, it's once I get stuck into it, I dig deep.
Yeah. But then, we should play the video, Mark.
Yeah. Well, if you got gas, Daniel, I mean, having the A9 the A9 Mark II and the R4, that's a great combination to have. Very strong. But it's only 4K 30, so you need an S3.
Yeah.
Always something.
Yeah.
This is it. Yes. And okay, so let's run the video, guys, and then because we've got a whole heap of stuff to go through, Brett. So
yes, we do.
Let's do this, guys. So this goes for about a minute and a half or something. So here we go. Yeah, Brett, you're just coming to the last bits and pieces of that video. There's so much delay at the moment on YouTube. I think it's something like 10 seconds or something like that, or more, 15 seconds.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so Brett can't see what is happening until he sees it on YouTube. Okay, so guys, so that was a little bit of a clipping bit that we shuffled together quickly. That was Brett, Michelle, and Brett's son, Brendan, as well. He came along with us as well.
Mm. Yeah.
Having nearly fallen down a waterfall, that last scene made me wince a bit. Well, yeah, never get too close to the cliff. And when we had while we were there were a lot of visitors, and they just went so close to the cliff edge. I was just...
I always get nervous every time I go down there and seeing people how close they are to the edge, and we're talking a 400-meter drop.
Thank you, John.
There's just no way. If you fall, you're not going to survive. So it's really surprising me how many people get too close to that cliff.
Yeah. I mean, there was all sorts. I mean, a lot of Instagrammers, a lot of young couples went there, and a lot of Instagrammer shots, and a lot of it was a bit strange. A lot of people were just going in front of a camera, even though we had cameras set up with tripods and everything, and they were just still. They didn't even ask if it was okay. They just walked in front of us and didn't care. So,
and mind you, we're very wary that we get our shots when we can get our shots, and when we're happy with what we got, then we'll move and let everybody else
exactly
go in that. But there were some people that they weren't being courteous to anybody else and so forth. But
I mean, some people were just picnicking right at the fall, in front of the fall, and we they wouldn't move. I mean, they weren't taking pictures or anything. They just wanted to picnic there. So so our photo opportunities were very limited.
Yeah, well, originally we were going to do a video. Mark and I were going to do some videos, us shooting the scene where we are and explaining behind the scenes what we're shooting, how we're shooting it, and blah, blah, blah. But there was just too many people, way too many people there. So that sort of ruled that all out. But yeah. Well,
as I was just asking me, Great Shots Marks, do you shoot in 4K and then 1080 for slow-mo, or just all in 1080? And you are right, I mix it. So I do 4K for all the walking sequences and all that. But if I want to slow something down, like especially waterfalls and water streams, etc., for me it's better to shoot it in 1080k, 1080, and then at 120 frames, and then that way I've got the ability to slow it down. If you shoot in 4K with the current cameras, you are just basically limited to 30 frames, and that is a great thing with the S3 when that comes out and you can shoot in 4K 120. It's going to be nice.
And that'll give you awful good smooth slow motion and so forth. John, if you're
all this was shot without the ND filters. I'd never put an ND filter on it, so I've got mixed feelings about I've got mixed feelings about ND filters. When you got overcast days and all that, you got to unscrew it, take it off, and then make adjustments again. So it's just it gets all tricky. But nevertheless, there's a place for it, and I had an ND filter with me just in case. But I never felt the need to actually use it.
And just replying back to John, if you think about going there, go on Google and go to Riley's, and I come across a thing where they show you when they do a live count of how many people were there at the times during the day. And I looked at it yesterday, Mark, and it was full on, and we saw that. So
Yeah.
it was good that we got there really early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean the car park was full by the time we started actually going
Yep.
on our second hike. I mean we hiked
Yeah.
all the way through the botanical garden. If no one really knows about O'Reilly's or the Lamington Mountains, it was really discovered by because a plane crashed there, and
Yep.
the rescuer, one of the rescuers' names was O'Reilly.
O'Reilly?
So
Yeah.
that was that's the reason why it's called O'Reilly now.
Yeah. Mm.
So, and they got a mock-up plane there. That's why you could see in the footage there was actually a mock-up, like a plane sitting at the front entrance there.
Yeah, and that was in the video just before too, right at the beginning. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah.
I mean, if you got ultra bright light, if you got really bright light ASA, then you will have problems with your workflow, and you would have to have ND filters on. But you know that's the nice thing about actually having a something like an FX9 or so, you know, if you got an expensive video centric camera. The ND is built onto the sensor, so it's just fantastic to have.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we don't have that yet on standard camera bodies.
Yeah. Yes, we were going to go to other waterfalls, but there were a lot more further walk to go to, so we basically ran out of time because we did actually go to Morgan's Fall first. And the time we got back home, back up to the car park, it was nightfall. So yeah, it took us a while to get back up. But
Yeah, Benabora and all that, and yeah. So I mean, the Lamington, you know, the Lamington ranges are just fantastic for long hikes, and there's a lot of waterfalls and all that. So okay, let's move on. Let's get into the news, shall we, Brett?
Yep. Shall do.
And I know Daniel has been sort of wanting to talk about this for quite some time because it's a bit of his forte, should we say? And let's bring up the first tank. The war is on. So SmallRig just recently came out with this big poster and advertising for their gear. They've actually done a few updates on their ranges, and there's always more and more gear coming out. And as Daniel told us last week, SmallRig is also now selling cables, etc. What's that, Brett?
Tank.
Yeah, the tank. The SmallRig tank.
Yeah. Unreal.
So what's this? Sharon says, you need to take my husband Woolies want to hire high as a cooler at the moment to control people. He has no filter, haha. Well, you should have come along, Sharon. You know, we made that offer last Sunday for people to come along. Way more cables coming, says Daniel. And I looked at the cables, and they were just short cables at the moment. So, so I did a whole big study on SmallRig on SmallRig's website. And guys, just letting everyone know, we are not affiliated by with SmallRig, and we wish SmallRig would actually come on board and give us some goodies so we can maybe do some reviewing and all that. But as yet, we're doing this all from our the goodness of our hearts, really.
Yep.
So let's just bring up a few bits and pieces here now that SmallRig has brought out. So the new vlogging camera, the ZV-1, has actually got a SmallRig cage. And the interesting thing about this, Brett, I found, was actually the clamping system they've innovated for this, which clamps around the lens housing.
Yeah.
So this cage clamps onto the lens housing, and this wouldn't have been really possible. Because you do it this way, you can open up battery flap underneath. And when you look underneath, there's also threaded holes on more onto the side where you can put your tripod onto. So while your tripod is mounted, you can now take the battery out, which is not possible any other way. If you mount anything onto the ZV-1 hole underneath, it will not. You can't open up the battery door. But with this, you can actually open up the battery door. So it's a really smart way of doing it.
They're coming up some really fantastic options and inventions how to get around things. To attach anything on your cameras, video lights, microphone holders, and everything. And,
well, there you go. Daniel says the clamp helps for cooling.
There you go. Right.
So then Daniel, we can maybe they should make up a big clamp for the Canon cameras. But it's innovative. Very. I like how innovative and smart SmallRig always works. So let's have a look at
any more?
Of course. I got tons.
Yep.
Okay, so I mentioned this on one of our previous shows. This tool where you can, this is just a multi-tool that SmallRig has brought out for people. SmallRig has got several tool kits out there to have a look at, but I thought this was really very compact, and you got that pull-out magnetic coin thing that acts as a screwdriver. So it's just a tool in one. It's a really good one.
That would be very handy to have too, especially along a photo walk like we did the other day. So
it's just one of those things when you need one of these tools, when something comes loose on anyone's tripod or whatever happens, or you want to take your L bracket off or fit it again, then this tool is it's just one of those tools that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's move on to this other innovation that I saw. This is a mobile phone mount kit, and I thought this was just fantastic. Like it's got a cold shoe on it, and it's also got a Arca Swiss mount that makes it possible for you to screw onto your tripod, and it's also a tabletop holder as well. So let's I've got a few of these images, and we'll just scroll through them. So here you can see a phone mounted to it, and it clamps both ways, and it's rotatable. So which is with an Arca clamp, correct, Daniel. And okay, and Sharon says that the birds are so tame up there. And we had them flying all around us. It was really interesting. So you can actually see the foot spreads open, and you can then use it as a tabletop mount. So I'm probably just might actually get that for myself. Actually, it's really good.
Yeah.
So there you can see it flips up. So it's very compact when it's collapsed, and just flips up, and so you can do all sorts of stuff with it.
Yep.
So these are the clamp sizes. It goes from 55mm to 90mm. So if someone wants to measure up their phone and see if that actually all fits, we always put the links in our comment boxes, guys. So if someone wants to go to SmallRig, the link is down in the comment box. And here you can see it clamped onto a ball head. So it's just very versatile. That's what I like about it. And just so people know, Daniel does co-design for SmallRig, so that's his takes up a lot of his time, and he has some of the gear that you see at SmallRig on their website is designed by him, actually. So it's interesting.
And there you go. Ask this quick.
So it's got iPad versions coming.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just move on. I don't want to dwell on these too long. But you can see you can very quickly rig this out to become a vlogging system with an external microphone, etc. So as it's depicted here, just a very, very good idea, and yeah, interesting to see. And again, you know, like you can, there's all sorts of ways of rigging up, and if you need any way of mounting your system, yeah, just have a look at what SmallRig has got out. I mean, they've been around for several years, but lately they've been really becoming much more innovative and more. Their designs are really stylish now. So they actually are really doing a lot of work, and you'll see on like I mentioned before on this phone holder, it's actually got a cold shoe on one end, and it's got a threaded hole on the other end as well. So you can just you can mount a light and a microphone and just go all crazy with it. It's pretty good stuff.
Selfies.
Do your selfies, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the price, guys. I'm just going to show you this. $36.90, which is, of course, American. So you will pay for the design, but I think it's still
good.
Fair. You know, it's a fair price. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not $6,000. And again, this is just another one of his designs. It's a universal mobile phone cage that actually does that sort of stuff as well, which is another kind of design. So it's so they're doing a lot of flexibility and a lot of adjustments here. And they're really marketing their gear. Yeah. And again, sorry, Brett.
I'm just waiting for the next L bracket that Daniel's been talking about, and upgrading from my original version to the new one. It's very impressive and very innovative what they've done. So I don't know if you got a picture of it or not, but yeah. But I'm hoping I can get my hands on it. And if not, well, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, it's all for rigging, etc.
There you go. Daniel just said, yep, the 2236 is coming for me. So there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be good, Daniel. Of course, I'm forgotten in all this, but never mind. Okay, let's just move on to the next one. So DJI, of course, what I'm showing here is for the DJI action camera, but there are GoPro versions, etc. So it's all, you know, like if people are looking for vlogging solutions, you know, like do have a look at all these things, you know, like I mean the DJI action, for instance, does 4K 60p, so it's fairly interesting, you know, with front-facing monitor as well. So yeah, just saying, guys, it's out there. And if you get a cage from SmallRig, then you're flying. And of course, we can't not show bits and pieces here. Like this is for the A7S III. The cage is already out, and it's amazingly it's only $28.90. Which is, I'm very surprised there on the price, but obviously are doing a special for everyone to get a hold of one of these. But just be aware when you look at these cages, some of these cages do not have Swiss or Arca Swiss mounting on them, so they're just more video-centric cages. So keep an eye on that.
I'm hoping, Daniel, some of the a lot of the video cages.
Yep.
I'm hoping SmallRig will endorse the Swiss Astro plate actually built into them instead of just the screw holes for the tripod, because it takes a lot of hassle out of one old tripod to the U ones, and etc.
Yep.
So.
Well, guys, we're coming to the end of SmallRig, so I hope people weren't falling too much asleep. This is basically just letting people know that SmallRig is really working hard on getting all their stuff together, and you can see all these new designs. I mean, this is the A7R4 cage, but again, it does not have Swiss, Arca Swiss, and that was a bit.
That's what she's mentioning. So
but they do have L brackets for these, and there are updated L brackets, like what Brett said.
Yeah. So, and this one you see now, the for the R4, this is the U1, and you'll notice with the older design, they're very, very bulky if you hold them in your hand, and they're squared off edges.
Yeah.
Now with the U1s, they're tapering it all off and making it thinner. So it's not so much bulky, and if you're using it like a still camera, it's not uncomfortable in your hands and that. So like my old L bracket for my A7 III, it's really bulky and squared off, but the U1 that I'm hoping to get will be fantastic. But
maybe Brett will do a review on once he gets the L bracket, or maybe I can have a look at it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move over to.
I do love my old one too, because it makes everything so much easier. But anyhow,
See, I'm going to go more video centric with my next cage. I think I'm gonna look at these bits and pieces. Because
don't forget, Daniel's got reviews online as well. So in his tube. So
if no one knows, Daniel has his own video YouTube spot, and you can go and search him out after this show. But he's more centric about showing people tips and tricks for how to set up the A7 version cameras, so full frames. So what I wanted to bring up right now next is the Sony vlogging camera options that we've got now, and it's not just the A7S III that everyone should be jumping onto for video, etc. We've got a lot of capable, or Sony has got a lot of capable cameras out there that people can have a look at, and that are not in too high a price bracket, and more affordable than the S3 would be. So like this one here, the RX 100 series is really good. It's now up to version 7, and quite a capable vlogging camera. And you got the flip up screen, and it's all. I think the zoom. What is the zoom? It goes up to 200 mil.
I can't remember now.
What is it, 70 to 200 or something?
Those top ones, but
I'm not 100% sure, but if anyone is interested, we're just talking about the options that people can have and maybe should look at if your next step is going into video or vlogging and you want to have a go at it. Maybe just start off with something smaller. Like a smaller system before you spend a lot of money on an S3 or something. Just saying. Of course, the next step up then would be the A6 versions, which is the you got the which one has got a flip up screen, Brett? It's the A6 100.
Something.
6400
no, I do.
and the 6600. So there's all these step ups, and I mean the A6400 is known to be the mini A9. That's what people are calling it, but it doesn't have in-body stabilization. The A6600 has in-body stabilization, but they all have. I mean, I'm talking about flip-up screens, so you got that. that capability.
Yeah. Well, the latest one now is the Z1. Obviously, it's really more vlogging centric. But but even that was nearly up to $1,000 Australian, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ZV1 is, I think, 1,300 around there.
Yeah.
Australian dollars, but a very capable camera again. And like what you saw with the cage together, you've got a fairly interesting system where you can fit bits onto it, and it's becomes very
there you go.
more of a system then. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry guys, we've got a I don't know why there's such a big lag on YouTube at the moment, but obviously you're sort of catching up, right?
Yes, I am, because I'm watching to see what comes up, and then I can catch up with you. Unfortunately, it's nearly 11-minute second lag here. So
yeah, and Daniel said maybe wait for the A5. We haven't even got the A4 yet. A7 IV maybe, or I don't know what that's going to call. I mean, if they're bringing out another camera, who knows? They obviously want to see how the S3 fares now. And there's been very heavy advertising from Sony.
Oh, there you go. John just picked up the V1. Yeah, congratulations, with a small rig cage to go with it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go, John.
That.
Cool. Yeah, you gotta. Next time, once you get it and you come on the show, let us know how you're going with it. I mean, it's a nice little camera, but don't drop it.
Yeah.
It's all made out of plastic. The whole thing. So it's not a magnesium body. It's a plastic body. Okay, so and then we obviously go on to the Sony A7 S3.
Yeah.
Now with this one here, we've obviously everyone has been talking about this camera, and we did a special, a live special, just before the it was announced, before it was actually brought out. And I think everything that we talked about was full on and true. So I don't know what else we can add.
Well, there was a lot of other things. I did finally catch up. I've forgotten it now after the big long weekend we had. But look, I mean, there's plenty of reviews out there by other YouTubers, and that not all YouTubers will actually discuss every little detail that's being changed and that. But one thing I did find out, what we spoke about last time, that little white sensor next to the what do you call it, the tally light.
Yep.
I don't call it a tally light. I mean, it's supposed to be a tally light on the video centric, even the A7 III, but really that RF light that I call, it's to help focus on your subject. It'll shoot out a red beam, and it helps your face detection and all that to focus. But on the new A7S, the little white thing right beside the tag thing, now I've forgotten what I was going to say, what that was, but it was obviously to do with white balance. So
it's visible light and infrared IR.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 So
I mean,
balance,
this is something I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
We were trying to work out what it was actually.
But yeah, obviously it does a bit more than white balance. It's visible light as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at all the previous model A7 cameras, you will see there's only one round spot, which is the IR, isn't it? So this one has also got a visible light sensor.
Yeah, yeah. And Michael was just saying he pre-ordered 2.
Yeah,
AES3.
Michael is very centric on is
Yeah.
very much into video, so I totally understand that he buys 2 straight away because there is nothing there's nothing else out there right now, Brett, that can do what the Sony A7S III can do with all its
That's
codecs.
right. There's nothing.
It's just a fantastic camera, and for something compatible, there's almost nothing out there that will do anything.
The only thing that will come close to, I believe, that the S3 will be the Panasonic H9 or something like that, video side of it, but nothing like the sensitivity of the ISO and the obviously the Kodak and 120p recording and stuff like that. So
there's a question for you there, Brett. Laurie just asked, so how much is the difference in dynamic range in photo mode compared to A7 III and A7R4?
Well, okay, I'm not really quite sure with the A7 III or the R4 because I don't do much video.
No, this is photo mode. He's talking about
photo mode.
photography.
Oh, right, yeah. It's pretty much the same. Look, when you look at the A7 III and the R4, don't forget the only real big difference there is the mega size. I mean, they're supposed to be 15, but they're only going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Stop different. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got 15 stops of dynamic range.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I mean that's a ton. I mean, if you are that far off in your photography that you need 15, I think you should maybe spend more money not buying a camera rather than just maybe doing workshops or something, because there's something off then if you have to go that far to come back.
He also said, "Do you know how much better in low light photo?" Well, I can tell you now, the A7 III is far better than the R4 and low light sensitivity. And I've got a photo I'll show you later. Extreme high ISO, but I think if I had a bit more time, I would have downpowered it in the camera. But we'll talk about that later.
And Daniel just mentioned Tally would not work, would be blocked by many lenses, and I looked at that, Brett. That Tally light. I've got the Cine lens. I can't show anyone, but I've got the Cine lens, the 28 to 135, and that's actually got the big square box on it. And that Tally light is still in the clear, like it still shoots past the lens, and that's a very fat. It's a fat lens. I don't think there's anything bigger than that out. Maybe the bigger ones like the 400 and the 600s or something like that.
The longer the lens is, it'll eventually, you'll see the light actually skim along the side of the lens when it lights up. But you usually only see that, in extreme low light conditions.
Well, it lights up the lens, but it's actually not in the way of the lens.
No.
In the way of the beam. So, look, Sony knows what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny because coming from a still photographer, I don't call it a Tally light. I call it the RF light thing. So there's two, and they work both the same. But this one in the A7S III is actually more enhanced and changed, obviously, for the even lower light reading, censoring, and so forth. But the infrared light still does the same thing, as far as I know. But yeah.
And Lauren just brought up a sore point. She said that I will be buying 2 of them, and I did mention that in the previous show. Unfortunately, Lauren, the Australian exchange rate and pricing and etc. I don't know how Sony came up with their pricing, and it's not for me to judge or to say that they should lower the price. But the price is right there. This is the Australian dollar, guys. So $6,000 for this camera.
Yep. Yeah.
Or
at the
$1
moment,
off. I mean, you get $1 back from your 6,000.
Yeah, at the moment, it's been a while since I've seen the Aussie dollar being up. I think it was a 72 cents at the moment. It's been in the low 60s.
I mean, maybe. I can't say anything about Sony, obviously, but maybe Sony should really reconsider their pricing and give us an in. I mean, I would have, if this camera would have been around $5,000 in the $5,000 range, Australian here in Australia, then I probably would have bought at least one. But at $6,000, it's just too hot for me. It's too hot.
Well,
and there's your answer, Lauren. It's the price that stopped me.
It's not just here in Australia. It's and not just Sony. It's other. If you look at
I'm just. Well, the point is, I'm looking at this camera, and I'm not going to be buying it for this price, and especially. I mean, this is a workhorse, guys. When you look at a camera like this, it has to make money. I mean, I would not buy this if I was a hobbyist. I would not even be looking at this camera. But being a professional photographer and wanting to go into video work, I would be looking at this. But at $6,000 right now in COVID, when there's not many jobs out there, it's a big ask. It's a big ask.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And while we're on the talk of the A7, getting back to someone asked me a question that it's more video centric than photography. Well, there's real no right and there's real no wrong. It comes down to you. You can still use this camera perfectly for stills, especially in low light shooting conditions. You're going to get the benefit of the high ISO benefit and low focusing and so forth. The downfall is, yes, it's only 12 megabyte. It's not going to stop you taking photos for Instagram, Facebook, and just general viewing, digital viewing, or you can still do a pretty big poster size image on a 12 megabyte camera.
Yeah.
We proved that over the last week that you can do that, but you'll never go anything really much over, say, 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters or something image, because once you start to get bigger than that, you're obviously going to show more pixels and so forth. But yes, it really is aimed at for the video side, but it is still quite capable to taking decent photos and imagery, because now we've got the backside illuminated sensor. It's not a stack, but it's similar to the A7 III, but and the R4, because now they have the illuminated back sensor. So the resolution and the quality of that resolution is so much clearer, and the clarity is going to get far more superior quality in color and rendering and all that as well. So, yeah.
So here's
But,
another question from Laurie again. Or how much better is it in low light for photo?
So that where we go? Was that question again?
Laurie is in the it's down below.
Oh, Laurie. Oh, yep. Okay. I'm just sort of catching up to the screen here.
Yep. Yeah, he goes, how much better is it in low light for photo? And obviously this is a bit of an ISO demon, and it does what is it? On the top end it does 402,000 odd ISO.
Yeah.
And you will actually have fairly you'll get a cleaner image with lower
I
pixels.
can tell you now, I didn't have much. I only had about a month with the R4, and I didn't really get to test out the nighttime or that sort of nighttime shooting and that. But being 61 megabyte, you're actually going to get more noise and deflections and stuff like that from a bigger sensor. You got to think about as soon as you take an image of 61 megabyte, or if you're shooting uncompressed, you're shooting 100 megabyte. So it's going to take a lot more hard work for that camera to push that image into your memory card and so forth. So you still got the 15 stock, but look, at the moment, right now, I'm not even thinking of the S3. I think low light shooting and actual shooting and all those things, the S3 is still much better in low light. Yeah.
But again, I would probably want to have maybe a tryout period where I could actually try out this camera and see if it's as good as what it's been penned out to be, and maybe just give it consideration. It is just in these times where we don't even know when for professionals when jobs start rolling in again. It's just for me. It's a matter of just holding on to my money and just waiting until I get income again, proper income.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of talk about the stops and ISOs here in the chat.
Yeah. So there's a lot of questions in here, Mark. We could put a cashing up door.
I'm catching up big time. But it's I mean it is a new toy, and we got multiple slots and multiple cards, as you can see, and so it's being future-proofed, this camera. So you buy this camera for probably good 4 or 5 years. It should last you for 4 or 5 years or more. And that's how long it took Sony to bring out the S3, isn't it? Between that was the period.
It's about roughly
that was the stretch.
But that tells you how very careful they had to, why they took the time. You can just see what they delivered now, why it took the time. Obviously, there would have been some sort of heating issues at first, but they had to, like they said, they redesigned this camera right from the bottom up. And use cards. You've got the CFFA card slots to go in there too. For faster transfer rate. Maybe not as fast as the old. What was the other ones? The the bigger ones.
CFA.
They look like the older type.
The older type. That's
they're not going to be fast as that. But they and as you can see, because all the U cameras now are using the R series, R4 series body, which is not really much any bigger. Well, the A7 III is not much bigger. It's probably 1 mil thicker than the R4.
Yeah.
So
the S3 is 1 mil thicker.
Yeah, something
because
like
of
that.
the cooling plates that are in there. Obviously, they had to make a bit more space, but they kept it all fairly compact still. You know, it's interesting. And look, Lauren just said that the price is already starting to come down. Hasn't even been released yet, Brett. So Camera Pro is offering it for $5,750 with a free camera.
Yeah, if you look at the A9 when it first came out, it was over $7,000 AU.
Yeah, that's
and then what? 3 months down the track, it came down.
Yeah, just to think that I bought that camera for half the price. It's interesting, the A9.
Yeah.
Okay, in Europe it's $6,925 of our dollars here in Australia. So, wow, is that what you're paying over there, Daniel? That's that's a lot more money again. Don't get me started on freight. That's crap. Yeah. So we don't know where this the adjustment on the prices come from and all that. And I'm not gonna start delving into it. But I just personally speaking, I just find the price too high, especially now in COVID time.
Well, you look at it when the A7R4 came out, it was expensive too. But look how many people jumped on board with that, you know.
Yeah.
And the A9, and then the A9 too, when it came out, like everybody going, was saying it's too high. But if the people really want it, they're going to buy it no matter what. It's like when you buy, if you like Leica, you know, you may not be a professional photographer, but if you like Leica, as you mentioned in the last show, people are going to buy that no matter what. So, you know, it depends on what you value.
Is that true, Daniel, what you were saying, that it can record 5 video files at a time? I'm not sure. Can it do that?
I know. It probably could, but you only
I know it can do external. It can do 2 cards as well at the same time. So it can do 3. It can do 3 files. Because what you see in the picture is not 4 cards that go into the slot. It's only 2 cards at a time.
2, yeah, that's right.
And you can mix and match, can't you? You can actually put a CF and an SD. So yeah.
But just getting back to Larry was saying that Sean, S has always been towards video, and the R has always been for photo. The A9, the A7 and 6 in between. Well, that's all true, but the other thing is a lot of people don't see it that way. Yes, it is that way. I mean, the A7 is more of the all-rounder. It'll do everything.
Yeah.
And the R4, yes, it's more high resolution. It's really going to be more for landscapers and architecture and all of that sort of stuff. The A9 was really meant to be a sports, wildlife and sports, and you see people using that as weddings and portraiture. You know, and this is the thing. Some people, you know, you got to look at where you're personally at. What camera is going to suit you better? I mean, yes, a lot of the cameras are aimed at specific people and what they do in their genre. But I mean, there was people buying the A9 too for weddings. Where you're going to use the FTC, whatever, you know, for transferring files to the media. You know, if you're not in the media, it's no point of using that A9 II.
Yeah.
If you're not a sports photographer or whatever.
We've always had this debate, Brett, you know, with the even with the A9, I've got both. I've got the A7R4 and I've got the A9, and I to this day I still prefer the A9 over the A7R4, even though the A7R4 for landscape photographers, etc. It makes a lot of sense, and you got the croppability. You can go deeper in, but I just somehow, that's my personal opinion, and that's my personal likes, and 24 megapixel is obviously a sweet spot for me, as well as for other photographers and for fashion. Well, I don't need more than 24 megapixels.
Even wedding photographers, 24.
Yeah, wedding photographers. Yeah.
I mean, there's some wedding photographers that actually got the R4, but you're not going to see them using that right through the whole wedding.
Yeah.
You know.
And here you go. Michael just said, sorry, Brett. Michael just said the tail light allows others to know that the camera is in record mode, and the infrared is for photography to help the AF in low light. From his understanding, Yep. I mean, the tele light is a tele light. Exactly what it says. Lauren Houston says it's 409,600 ISO. I don't know if you ever want to shoot that high, but if you need it, it's there. It's interesting. Good point, Laurie. Is in the camera a new age video recorder? Yeah. And Sharon says, I have to wonder if they are trying to diversify because phone cameras are taking over the market. Well, they have to come up with new solutions and new ideas to get people back into the camera fold and buying cameras. Let's face it, it's all about buying cameras. You know, if manufacturers can't sell their cameras, then they are gone ski. You know, so.
Well, it's getting to the point now that video's coming in more, and everybody's demanding video.
Yeah.
And now, because we're shooting over 6K, now we're starting to shoot 8K, but I mean that's a long way down the track. But because eventually you'll be able to use 8K and grab an image out of an 8K video, it's going to start making people lazy actually going out there and do stills only, because they can just grab an image out of their video. So it's sooner or later the video is going to sort of overtake the still photographer.
Right from the get-go, I mean, when the ZV-1 came out, and obviously the flip-up screens for the A6 series were coming out, you know, like, I know that Sony is looking more and more into videography and video-centric for vloggers, etc., and YouTubers, and there's just more and more people going into that field, and they want to retain them, and so they need to bring that lineup of camera out. I mean, if you don't want to do any videoing, and if you don't want to do any vlogging, etc., and you're not interested in that, then the S3 might not be for you. You might want to go to a different kind of camera, but and save your money, obviously. But it is there. I mean, the Sony lineup has become very, very flexible with choices.
And you know, what doesn't matter what camera you buy from the Sony range, there's always going to be something on the camera that you're not going to use. I mean, even if Sony had brought out 8K in the S3, it's like, and you go, okay, I don't want 8K, but that doesn't mean you can't buy it. You just don't use it.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, when they brought it all out, no, they weren't going for 8K because 8K is a long way down the track. We're still trying to catch up with 4K to be able to play true 4K back through the internet, and we're not. We're still Netflix is still dumbed it down to what 1080p or even 720p.
Yeah, for people that don't know, like, you know, Facebook only allows 720p.
Yeah.
You can go, of course, 4K with but you can't go 8K on YouTube. YouTube allows 4K. So, but even 1080p still looks good. So it's just one of these. It's a dice game, you know, future proofing, and for how many more years do you want your your videos to stand up, and a lot of people have been talking about well, they were saying, look, I want to be in the future. I want to be able to watch my pictures or see my pictures on TV and my videos on TV. I just don't know how many people actually watch their videos and their pictures on or look at them on TV. I just, I mean, it's a great concept. It's a good idea, but I just don't see anyone actually ever doing it. You know, simple as that. I mean, even myself, I don't even do that. I switch on my monitor to see my pictures, or look at my laptop, or have a look at my phone or my iPad. And it's more that I go that way. And even if I've got customers, I don't sit them in front of a TV. You know, like I always show them on the laptop, or you know, so they expect me to be on the computer. You know, like my customers wouldn't want me to slot a card into a TV and show them on TV. They would laugh at me, to be honest. But I work with professional customers, so so John said I would love to see the new menu appear in A7R4 and A92 in a firmware update. If it can be done, fingers crossed. Well,
wouldn't we all love to see that? I mean, yeah, you know, but I'm not pushing my hopes on that. So yeah, I mean, I'll be more than happy enough once everybody knows. I'm waiting for the color focusing brackets on the A7 III and R3 to change color, because when you're a landscape shooter, that gets lost and you don't know where the hell it is, and you've got to keep moving the joystick till you see it and then track it from there. So but yeah.
What's this, Daniel? 3mm mostly for EVF, or is that for the actual the thickness in it? I'm not sure.
No, he's talking about the EVF. Is
okay,
out
sorry, the nose
thing.
space, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
When apparently when you look through the EVF, it's supposed to be fantastic. It's like looking through a window. So you wouldn't even think that you're looking through a monitor screen.
And apparently too, if it's too much into your face, you can actually zoom it out. There's a feature that you can just zoom it out a bit more, and if it's too close. I
mean, I've had this picture up for the longest time, but I just should just mention that the door is a little bit different to the A7R4, where they've got now they've got a safety latch. I just don't understand it, because if you want to open up a door on the A7R4, it is, you know, like, I mean, it's secure on, and you really got to put some pressure onto it to open it up. I mean, I'm not saying it's hard to open, but it's not easy to open. And I just don't know why they didn't really bother. So they must have found a reason why they actually put that on. But it's it's another safety guard, I guess. But I didn't think it was necessary, personally speaking, because I'm quite happy with the A7R4, how the door opens up. And Daniel has got one, and Jason has got one here in the show, and they probably know what I'm talking about.
I was just going back to what Adamite said. I'm correct saying that you can only watch YouTube in 1080p via Apple products. No 4K support. I don't know. I'm not an Apple, but Mark is. Guys, you get 4K support on Apple, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yep. And even PC.
I'm waiting for the new Mac to come out as well, with the new ARM system, with the new ARM chipset, and I'm probably going to delve into that and getting one. But then again, that's what I said about the S3. so you never know. Okay. So Laurie said expensive. These specs have been that cheap. Have never been that cheap. Yeah, and exactly, you know, like Michael will support me here on this one. Like the i7 S3, it's got two proxy files, two files from the SD, or C-Fast, and one from the Ninja 5 as a total of 5, if that's what Daniel is talking about. Yeah. Also, it does 2 proxy files.
Yeah.
Okay. And how you going,
Yeah.
Bill? Bill has popped in. Also need to consider if your computer is decent enough to store, edit, and process images, video. Well, that's why I'm going ARM. Actually, the German word for arm, when you say arm in German, it means poor. If you're arm, you are poor. Just a little tidbit for people. To grab an image from the video, you need to shoot in fast shutter, but it's not ideal for video because it ruins the realistic motion blur. Professionally, not possible to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah, it's a tricky life at the moment. We're trying to push video and imagery all the time.
Yep.
So Daniel says 4K works for him fine.
So we need to move on now, Mark,
Yep.
because we're 18 minutes over the hour.
Okay, so
I think.
okay, I'm just going to show quickly the top-down look here, Brett, of the camera.
Okay.
So people can see that it's obviously got the C1 button is not there anymore. It's actually gone where the video button used to be. And the video button has gone to the top now, which is welcoming in a way, because it's always been a sort of like I've always could never find it, but really the way I do video, I've got it on the trigger, so I don't really use that button. I mean, the C1 button for me is important because I've got that magnifying. I've done a video about that, and focus magnifying is on C1. But it doesn't really worry me too much if it's there or on the other spot. But it will help people. Also, when you look at the menu dial on the top, you'll see that the manual rotation is right next to the video now, so very close to each other, so you can quick switch.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that you still can only watch YouTube in 1080p via all Apple products? No 4K support? No, I can watch 4K. I can watch 4K on mine, so it is buggy, like it's because of my feed coming in. I'm on NBN, and it's not fast enough to keep up with the stream.
It really depends on your provider, and here in Australia, we're not there yet to watch the 4K content, and then before you start to catch up before it's downloaded. So in the States or Europe, they got far more ultra speeds open than what we have. So
yeah, and we know, like if you downsample downgrade or downsample your 8K to 4K, it's better, and obviously from 4K to 1080p is better. So if you want to do 1080p, then do it in 4K and then edit it and push it out as 1080p, and you'll have a much better resolution.
Yeah, resolution. And having said that, people are forgetting that the A7 III actually records an 6K, sorry. Then it goes down to 4K.
Yeah.
And then you can go down to 180p. So I just think Canon sort of just overshot the 6K right from the beginning and went for 8K. But yes, I do understand it's double, but I don't know. That's just me. So.
Well, we're getting old. Okay, guys, and I'm going to jump out of the Sony discussion now and we'll go into Astro. So a lot of people may not have heard about this, but there is an enhancement filter now out, and it's just been released, and it's already sold out at the moment. So sorry about that, but Kase has actually brought this out now. It's called an Astro enhancement filter. It's called Star Glow, and apparently what it does, it enhances the actual stars, which is very hard for me to understand, but it's got a certain glass on it that actually makes this possible, which is really, really interesting.
This has been in, I think, 2 years in the making with one of the YouTuber astrophotographers. He was working with Kase and it was his idea from what's his name, Alvin Wallace or something like that.
Yeah,
he's actually on the Kase there. So, and one of his photos, that's him standing on the rock in that image. Now, what it does is, and Lauren, it's not a light pollution filter. It's to enhance the actual stars. So it gives you it brings out the major stars and less of the faint stars in the background. So the major and the well-known stars become more apparent, and then at the same time, the filter will give you a bit of a like a glow throughout the image.
Yeah.
So he does speaks about talking 3 different techniques using it, because if you've got something in the foreground, that filter might make it go soft in detail on that. So you would put it up so the filter is sitting on the top part of your image and not over your landscape. So, but anyhow, but that's what it is for. So I can't remember how much they're selling it off, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I vary my shutter speeds and all that, Michael. Yeah, but I mean, for all the people that are coming into video and they want to know a little bit about it, maybe we should do a special show about video and how to set up your camera. But usually when you got your video settings in your menu set to, say, like what Michael is showing here at 60 frames per second, then you should look at having a shutter speed of 1/20th of a second, so 120th of a second. So you just basically double your frame speed and then set it to that. So if you had 120 frames per second, then you set it to 240th of a second. So it's in the short and curlies is basically that. So if you're shooting 4K 30, then it should be 1/60th of a second. Yeah. And there you go. There's just a little class for you guys. Just a little thing. Everyone that does video knows about it. Everyone that does is into images probably needs to know it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're moving on.
This is not a light pollution filter, Lauren. It's different. But yeah, I think there are light pollution filters out there. But I just I thought this was this is sort of like on the high end. I've got some images here, Brett, too, so we can actually just have a look at these. So basically, these are all shot with that filter, and these are all courtesy of the photographer that organised all this, set up this filter. And again, the link for all this and the website is actually down below in my comments box.
Yep.
So yeah, it looks like an interesting filter, but it's also not cheap and it's sold out right now. So that's the only problem with it.
Yeah, Wallace, he's got a huge following, absolutely massive. But yeah, I should put down a link down in there to show you if people are interested to see what it's all about. But
but
it does make.
This filter just makes the stars really glow.
Yep, and it will. And as you said, the overall image, it will give you a glow sensation and all that feeling to it. So if you're not liking it, he mentions that you need to put the filter halfway down if you're doing landscape in the foreground, and just only do it the top part. But if you want that ethereal feel all the way through the image, well, you just put it over completely. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on this, Riz. I've got I'm watching this on in my YouTube studio, and it doesn't seem to be lagging. So you might want to just do a refresh on your web page, and just see on YouTube. Just do a refresh and just see if it comes back better. Yeah. Guys, if anyone else is having problems with the lag, let me know. So, again, let's get out of this. Okay, and we're just going to do our little bit of our spiel again, Brett. And obviously, we do workshops, and we do one-on-ones as well. So if anyone is ever interested in wanting to do something with us, welcome to get in contact with us so we can talk about it and do one-on-ones. Right now, we're still talking about workshops. We're still organizing workshops, but with the situation of what's actually going on right now, we've got the COVID has plumed up again. So we haven't only got it in Melbourne now, we've got it happening now in Sydney, and we've got a few cases here now in Queensland as well. So we're just very worried about that, and if we set up workshops, that will happen in a month's time. We just don't know if we have to cancel that again. So it's just an ongoing problem for us.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue. The workshops is because to go to one of those shops, it's costly, and if it's going to be organised at a certain location and so forth, it's costly. And last thing I really want to do is cancel it, and so I think I'm just sort of waiting on, just holding off for a while. But for now, I'm just sort of concentrating on the photo walks at the moment.
Yeah, so here we go again. I'm just going to bring up our Facebook groups. Obviously, Brett is the administrator for Sony Alpha Brisbane on Facebook, and I am the administrator for Photographers Collective. And feel free to join, guys. And there's always a lot of information on there, and we also we let everyone know on these two groups, especially when we are doing live shows, etc. And you'll always be up to date and informed, and you'll constantly get reminders from us, letting everyone know that we are doing the show.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Brett, we are going into critique now.
Yep.
How does that sound?
Now we're an hour and a half into the show, and
yeah, I know. It's we only wanted to do like an hour show or something like that.
Yeah, that never happens.
Never happens. Okay, so getting right into it, and I'm just going to wait until you've got your screen coming up now. I've seen that. Okay, in here you will see that we've got John Gatsby's image, and it's he shot it with the A9 70-200 G in mode 2, 160th of a second f8, 70mm ISO 100, and he used Lightroom and Topaz to correct and edit. So just for people to enjoy that, we're just going to blend us out. So just have a good look at this, guys, and see what this picture does to you and what it evokes. For me, it evokes the memory of my. I had a Harley Davidson. I had a Road King, and missed the thing dearly. But I just ran out of space. I didn't have any space for that motorbike, unfortunately. Yeah, so what have you got to say about this, Brett? What do you think?
Only thing I noticed straight up, it's a great shot, John. I love it. I like how you got the bike sort of slanting to the left bottom screen. Yeah, I sort of like that. But I think the shutter speed could have been a bit slower. Yeah. It just, to be interesting, the thing is, it's got the highlights. If you look at the front, near the front wheel, and the highlights of that bush, and then the highlights at the very left of the screen, and then you see he's sort of in this dark space in between those highlights in the background. So it sort of brings him out a bit, but I just think it would have been a bit more interesting if the shutter speed was a bit longer and stretched those background right through at the back. I could be wrong, but other than that, you know, it's a personal choice. But yeah. I like it. Yeah. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah, it's a nice picture. Just unfortunately, it's not, the bike and the rider are not completely sharp. You can I don't know if you can actually see that on your image, but
no,
I can see it on my larger screen here. You know, like I've got a big 48-inch TV here, and it is just not 100% sharp. But apart from that, I like this picture. It's nice. And if you get in contact with this rider, I'm sure he will gladly do some business with you, John. It's really worthwhile for him to. Yeah, it's a great memory for him, you know, like having this bike running in full motion. You just see too many motorbikes like these that are standing still, and then people take pictures of them. But there's nothing like seeing a bike like that in motion. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Makes me think back of all the rides I used to do.
Yep. Mm.
Yeah, and so do you want to move on to the next picture? What do you think?
Yes, mate. Yep.
So well done, John, and congratulations. I really like it, and Brett really likes it. So we can't really, technically, it's just the sharpness of the actual rider on the bike, but I can't really see anything like even the space that you gave the bike on the front wheel. You gave it bit extra space. To look into the next corner, and it just sort of tells a story. I want to see what's further ahead, you know. Yeah, so it's good.
Well, the only thing I just think that the shutter speed could have been dragged a bit more. But it's a bit like Star Wars. When you look at the back, if you're not really looking at the rider in itself, it's like it's just about, you know, when you're in Star Wars and you're just about to see the ship about to go into hyperspace.
Yeah.
And yeah, but
maybe that's why it looks so good to me. I'm a Star Trek boy.
Yep.
But no, well done, John. Just keep it up, you know. Like, I mean, practice. I mean, getting the rider and the bike super sharp is super tough and super hard. You know, it's it takes a bit of doing. But again, you've got the A9 and you can shoot 20 frames and just, well, you got to drag the shutter, so you're not going to be on 20 frames. But
yep.
Yeah. Practice it.
Okay. Next image.
Yeah, so this is another shot of John Gatsby again, shot with the A9 again, and 100 to 400 GM, mode 2 again, at 1/3200th of a second, f5.6 at 400mm, and he did the editing in Lightroom. It's got cut off, sorry, but yeah. So what do you think of this shot, Brett?
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Well done,
I
isn't it?
like these particular shots. Yeah. I really can't pick a fault in this. I wish I could see it up more close on the bigger screen, right? But actually, just give me a minute and see if I can switch it over to my large monitor. And yeah, that's quite good. I can't really fault it, this one, John. You pretty much nailed it, I think.
I'm just not sure if the sharpness is not on the eye, is it?
I
think it's
can't
a little
really tell that way. I don't usually pixel peep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, it's very pleasing. I mean, he's obviously got the bird in flight and everything. Yeah.
I mean, this is very difficult to get sharp on the eye. I mean, this is a super small bird.
But one thing I noticed, that the light's in the right position, and because he's got a bit of catch light on the bird's eye, so that's a bit of, you don't often see that.
I mean, the catch light is very important, guys. If you've got shots of birds that are they just where the black has not, or the eye has got no reflection in it, it almost looks like a dead bird. So it's very hard, very tough. So you need a catch light. Look for the catch light on the bird. And it's sometimes very hard. I mean, usually you get it anyway, but
yeah, you gotta. It depends on where you're standing. If the light is not in the right direction, in front of the bird, not behind it, you won't get the catch light if it's behind the bird. But other than that, I'm loving the green and the oranges, and obviously the bird is a brownish colour between all that green and orange. So no, that's the highlights.
I'm just looking at the eye, and I'm looking at the. Yeah, I mean, just the sharpness. That's what's bothering me. That it's actually got. I think the sharpness is on the shoulder, like on the beginning of the wing. So I mean, this is just picking. Really, it's just really just you. John, you're coming to the end of your, technique here. Like this is the fine end of getting to it, and you are very close, very, very close.
Yeah.
So well done again, John. Yeah. Well, the only other thing is what I mentioned in the previous show, that you can suck a little bit of green out of your image. And that will actually highlight the bird a little bit more, but I wouldn't go too far out. Maybe 5% of the green. Just take away 5%, and the bird will pop more again. But it's all taste. That's all.
Yep. But no, that's about it for me. I don't think you couldn't really do much better.
Yeah, again, they move so quick. It's even the A9 will have trouble focusing on the eye on these birds. Animal eye AF is not there for these kind of birds yet. No,
definitely not.
In the future, it will be. They're working on it. Yeah, so it's just a matter of just shooting, and eventually you'll get these nuggets of gold. You get these keepers. Yeah, well done, John. And let's move on. We've got, so we've got a happy camper here. We got. Guess who we got here, Brett? We got Jason Murray with the A7R4. He shot this with the 85 GM, the 1.4, 1/500th of a second, 1.4 ISO. 500, done in Capture One, edited. So Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start. First of all, I like the colours. Yeah, the colours are really good. I like the settings that you've chosen, and obviously you didn't choose what is it? The aperture, 1.4. Okay, 1.4. And I'm supposing because he focused, I'm not really quite sure how close he was, because obviously the background can't really go out of focus a lot. So it's kept the image what's in the background and the flowers in it. But I'm having an issue on the lighting. The lighting could have been not from the side that he shot, because she's getting the dark circles in the eye, which I call the ugly light. When you shine a light up underneath and throws a shadow above the lip and then under the cheek, where the bottom of the eye of the cheek goes under. So I would have moved the light from the other way around, but facing 45 degree down. That way across the image on the right hand side. Or you could have done it another way, because he was over her, he could have lit from the top as well. So I would, I'm just finding the shadows a bit odd. I know where the light source is coming from. You can see it where the shadows is. But I would, that's about it, because
it's a bit weird that you got. From what I can see, is that the light was coming from the left hand side, obviously, but there's a shadow on the cheek.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that. So there would have been a secondary light coming from the side, from the right hand side. Sort of bottom right hand.
I don't know how many lights are involved, but it does indicate there might be two lights. That's natural light, is it? Well,
I think the left hand side was natural light, but I think the right hand side, is that natural light?
No, Jason.
Natural light, says Jason. Light. Yeah. There you go.
So, okay.
Just before sunset.
Okay. That's a bit odd, because I'm guessing he's tilted the image upright. Portrait. He shot it landscape because she's obviously laying down.
Yeah.
But there's something. Look, I mean, on there's something, like you said. It looks like another light that's creating some sort of shadow and all that too. Because there's even if that was natural light outside door, there would have been some sort of catch light in the other eye.
Yeah.
If you can get my drift there, because I would have liked to see some sort of catch light in the other eye, even though it's not in focus. And it's just like you said before, when you're doing portraiture, especially people, you need the catch light. If there's no catch light, it's like the person's dead. So that's
obviously, sorry, I'm zooming in too much and I'm pixel peeping again. Obviously, the focus is on the flower, and you left the other eye vulnerable now to blurring. At 1.4, you should have maybe pushed it to 2.8 maybe, or even further, f4 maybe, just to get the eye a bit sharper. And if she would have rotated her head maybe a little bit to her right, so it would have been on the same plane a little bit more, it would have been okay. It would have been a good shot.
Right now, where your pointer is, there is a bit of catch light.
Yeah.
If you look right at the bottom of the eye. But
there is. I've seen that, but it's not enough. It needs more.
No.
It's more. I mean, she's got beautiful, like, brown eyes. Finding a way of how to actually bring that out. and a pupil is a little bit dilated, so not enough light on that eye. You can see the actual black in the center is bigger than what it should be, and that gives you less color in the eye, so you always got to make sure that enough light gets on the eye to actually dilate or shrink down that part, and it works like an aperture, you know, like, I mean, the more light you've got in going into the eye, the smaller that part gets, and then you'll get all the colors. You'll really suck colors out of it.
Well, Jason just said, to be honest, I was trying to focus on the eye, but the eye autofocus was hitting the flower every time. Okay, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't focus. If you do have that set to eye focus human, I'm pretty sure it would have picked the eye first. But what lens was he shooting with this?
This was the 85-1.4. Yeah. See, I've always said that. I mean, a lot of people might be going against what I'm saying, but personally, I've always found that the 85-1.4 is a little bit softer than other lenses from Sony.
Well,
it's just me.
You know, I haven't really seen that yet, but anyhow,
yeah, I don't know. I've shot with it a few times now, and I've always just, I couldn't help myself just thinking that it could be sharper, or there's a softer feeling on this lens.
Yeah, but look, Jason, overall, still a great photo. So don't take what was said in the wrong way or anything. We're just pointing out things that you can pick up and do, you know, and take it in a bit in a grain of salt and think about it.
See, while you're doing a shoot and while you've got a moment, you can shoot, and don't panic, and take more shots in that position. I mean, this is a look. Yeah. So just, you know, exhaust the look. So basically, ask her to rotate her head a little bit, maybe close her eye, be more dreamy, you know, all that sort of stuff, just to exhaust your possibilities. Even shoot this at 1.4 and then shoot it at f4. Yep. Shoot it at f5.6. Bring the ISO up. Try all sorts of things a little bit, you know, and then you got, you just want to cover your shot, basically. Yep. You know, your that period of time you've got time with this model.
And even though he said that he admitted that he was actually trying to get the eye in focus, but some reason the AF was not doing the job. But I do like this concept, what he ended up getting. I mean, you think about the flower over the other eye, and then you've got flowers in the background.
Yeah,
top
even
of the
swapping
head.
the eye over. Like if that flower would have been on the other eye, the right eye would have been in focus together with the flower.
Just got to ask you,
it's the moment,
Mark,
right?
Mark, just rotate it to 90-degree right. I want to see how that looks.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yep. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just waiting to catch up.
Oh, sorry. You said to the right, right?
Yeah, to the right.
Yeah, it's just it looks unnatural because the head is straight. It's not on a lean a little bit, you know. So it.
I like it that way better. It makes more sense. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, now that's why I asked you to turn it to the right, because it's a personal thing. But we touched this subject the last show about flipping,
rotating.
Rotating.
It's all well worthwhile trying out and having a look at something that you can work on. I mean, Yeah.
And I said this before. He looked like he took it in landscape mode and then put it up into portrait. So yeah.
Yep.
So I do like it in the landscape better than the portrait.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, Jason. I hope that helps you with some information now that we've given you. As always, I always tell people it's all about the eye. Whether it's human or animal, if the eye is not sharp, then you missed focus, basically, in my opinion. So you just got to make sure that you're focused on the right thing. I would have rather had the flower blurred and the eye sharp in this case. I mean, just keep on practicing. You know, like you'll get there eventually. But don't be stuck on your most open aperture. You know, don't be stuck on 1.4.
Yeah. And don't say it's not your time for certain people. Look, it's one of those things. Look, I love doing portraiture, and I haven't been able to do portrait for a long time. And I'm hoping to get back into it and so forth. A lot of people see me as a landscape photographer, a seascape, city, and a lot of people know me as a landscaper. And then I go sometimes, I love me portraiture and all that too. And when I do the portraitures and that, and a lot of people go, okay, they don't like it because they see me as a landscape photographer, and not I do weddings and I do studio work and that. So hopefully soon I'll get back into it.
Hang on, I'll just blend us out for a second there, Brett,
Yep.
so that people can actually take in this image in full. This was obviously an image that was taken and obviously, the rainbow is not real.
Oh,
obviously.
okay. Luminar 4.
And it's been done in Luminar 4, I'll just bring up the details. So he shot this with the
Drone.
DJI drone, Mavic
Yep.
Zoom, 1/250th of a second. Not sure about the f-stop, ISO 300, and he fixed it up in Lightroom and put the rainbow in via Luminar. Picture of Service Paradise.
Just one thing I'll warn people with too. If you're using Luminar and you're putting fake skies or whatever in that, sometimes it's better off that you actually make people aware that it's a composite.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes a lot of people won't, they might look at it and go, oh, that's fantastic. And they don't know it's a composite, but they like it. That's a good thing. But there are going to be a lot of photographers out there that will know straight off the bat what they're seeing is not,
sometimes if you make it too unbelievable, the photographers will get on you. But I've got no problems with composites.
Okay, Daniel, see you, mate, and see you next time.
Righto, Daniel. Yep. See you later, Daniel. Good to be having you on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, Jason. Now, obviously, it is a composite, and people will either like the rainbow or not like the rainbow. Personally speaking, I don't know. I would want to see the rainbow a little bit wider. I would want to see it a bit bigger, filling another third of the actual picture. Also, it sort of doesn't make sense that this rainbow would be there, because it's actually like you're seeing blue sky and all that, and it looks dry. So it could be there, it could not be there, but I don't know too much about rainbows when they appear, Brett. I know there has to be like it's sort of like it gets done by rain and moisture, and the light hitting the water, basically, creates this. Yeah. What have you got to say about this, Brett?
Look, I have to see this as an artistic sort of viewing, and not, because I mean, me being a photographer myself, look, I do quite like it. It's something that he's obviously thought of or seen, envisioned, and he just wanted to spice it all up and make it more. I think it's more like an Instagram sort of thing that a lot of people would go for it, and not say anything, But I'm pretty sure he would have some huge liking going on it. But other than that, I mean, it's if you want to make it more believable, you have to need it to, like you said, the rainbow. If it was wider, more stretched out, and lower, well, probably a bit higher, maybe, I don't know, but depending on the whole thing. But look, I mean, it's making me look everywhere, because it's actually the Gold Coast, and you got buildings, and I suppose you look around the streets and all that. I'm just seeing what's around there, and But other than that, no, look, it's fun. Sometimes you gotta treat photography as fun. And if you're having fun doing what you do, and like this and so forth, all the power to you. So, but other than that, I do like it.
I mean, the only corrections that you can do with this image, I guess, would be converging lines. Like, I mean, you see the building on the right hand bottom corner here, how it actually juxtas out of the image to the right, and not sure if I can put a grid over this. See if I can put a grid over it. Go out of this and go into there. Now, this is the same problem as what I had last time. It's actually going to take forever for a grid to come up. Yeah.
While that's happening, Jason just said, my hometown, I pictured it in my head. It's supposed to be represent hope enduring the COVID. So, see, there you go. Just make sure when you're doing things like this, you need to put a head on it, a storyline to tell people why you come up with this and so forth. So, and I mean, now that you just told me what you're thinking and what's representing, it makes sense. And so, and that's first
it's like, if anything, I don't know if I would have cropped out the building and on the side. That's the only thing that really gets to me. I mean, like, I mean, the saturation is a little bit strong for my liking, but that's up to you, Jason, which way you go about that. Just that, if that was sort of cropped out a little bit, and maybe to that, just a private crop, and just get rid of the edit, maybe around there. And then straight away, it just sort of looks to me. I was having problems with the image not being straight, and I was just looking at it, and I mean, if it doesn't really matter if the Q1 is not in the center, because you still got buildings balancing it out, etc., and you got the darker sky on the right hand side creating a balance. But with that building missing, it looks a bit better.
Yeah. I would agree with that, yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Other than that, that's pretty much it.
And that's
yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah. And was that the last photo?
That was the last photo, Brett.
Oh,
We've done it.
okay, there we go.
Yeah, so it was five critiques for this time around, and guys, please, if anyone wants to get any critiquing done, put your images in. I usually post around Wednesday or Thursday, and letting people know when we are doing a live show, a bit of an ad, and you're always welcome to throw it all down and give us images that we can critique. We love doing critiquing, and we got 5 done just in time, Brett. It's 2 minutes past 9, so we're just rounding up the 2-hour show now.
Yeah, well, we obviously missed out on our sharing images, but
yeah, did you want to share an image? We can probably do that if you want. Do you want to do that?
Well,
sorry, I completely bamboozled out of my head.
People want to see
do people want to still be up and have a quick look at how about some an image of Brett? Yeah, it's too saturated, says Jason. Yeah, so I'll just share my screen straight away with you now, Brett, and if I find it. How come that's on? Okay, so there we go. So I'll just click it over to that. And you can share with us now, Brett.
Yeah, I'm sharing right now. So,
yeah.
Obviously, because I'm waiting for the lag in the feed. So.
Not a problem.
But
the picture is up here, Brett, so you can start talking about it.
Yeah. Anyhow, this image here. This was one of the last images that I took. Before we started hiking back up to the car park. Once again, it was another sun set without no clouds. So, but we were loving this golden light. This sort of likes me just trying to get this golden light too, and we were dealing with a very highlighted scene and dark high, the dynamic range here. So
we basically had the sun setting directly from the waterfall all the way through the stream, which was amazing light. We got some amazing light there, didn't we, bro?
Yeah.
In the end,
we would have hung around a bit more, but we had to think of others that we had to get back at the car park as the night was falling. If you see that, if anybody can see my pointer in the middle of the screen, just behind this branch is the lookout where you come down from the very top, and you will see this waterfall looking over the cross. So the other shots you see, well, in the summertime, this sun wouldn't be there. It actually goes down over behind this mountain where you walk up and down to get to this place. So in the winter, it's more in front of the waterfall. And you were trying to get some shots looking back into the creek line, but you just
I'm not happy. The biggest problem is that pictures, like when you look at things, you see them and then you take a picture of them, and they won't look pleasing because at the time you had, as a person standing there, you had a sense of scale, and you knew roughly that, that boulder or that river or that creek or that waterfall looked that size. But how can you convey that to people? And it's really hard to just take a shot of what you like to shoot and then show it, and then people don't understand or they can't compute how big or how small it is. So it's really tough, and it's even like same as shooting trees or whatever else. I mean, if you shoot a flower, your brain roughly knows what a flower size is, and that's okay. But when you shoot this amazingly huge tree, your brain will not compute exactly what that is, what size it is.
Yeah. Well, I took a telephone shot on the way down, and here's a shot that we're looking from the other side, coming down on the track, looking over. So this is about 200 millimeters, I think it is. I'll just double check on that. Yeah.
Listen to this. Jason said that he got chased by a dingo leaving that spot after sunset, all the way back to the car park. Oh, that dingoes there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I've never actually encountered dingoes around there, but I'm pretty sure they are.
We were tracking all the way back, literally like in the dark. We were using torches to get back. So yeah, interesting.
But and there you go. Look, as Lauren was saying, these guys weren't nowhere near the edge. If you can see where my pointer is.
Yep.
And we've had guys standing on this ledge here, over here, and this ledge over here.
Yep.
And we've had people sitting tucked up in this loose dirt, in that top corner.
Yeah, they just couldn't get close enough to the edge for some reason. They just wanted to be heroes.
I remember the last time I was there was a big boulder. In that logs between that boulder and that tree, there was a big, massive boulder.
That's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone. I remember people walked down between that boulder and the other boulder that was there to get down on that little ledge. That ledge is only a bit over a meter wide, and it actually slopes down to the edge. So in the wet season, you would not be wanting to be walking along there because I mean, we're talking a 400 meter drop. There's nothing will save you. There won't be any soft landing or anything. It's just dead straight down.
Yeah.
But in that shot, so it just goes. This is quite a lot of. There is a lot more water flowing, but not as much as last time I was there.
Yeah, I mean it's still. I mean, when we were driving through the forest up the mountain, you could just see there was not. There's a lot of dead growth. Dead growth in the forest. So everyone needs water.
I'm amazed that no one's ever fallen off this waterfall either. I've seen kids down on that ledge and that too. So
it's crazy. I mean, I find that really strange that they haven't got it restricted or fenced off or something, to stop people from getting even that close to it.
Yeah. And
that's a nice image. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this was done a 30-second exposure with my Benro 1000 10-stop ND filter and that. And you can just see how much fine detail you can get for these filters without no quality lost in the image and that. At first, when I was looking at the images on site, I didn't realise I was getting some, little flaring going on, and, they sort of bugged me a bit. But then again, when you really think about it, if the starburst, as you can see, that's just natural light. That's not luminar, by the way.
I was just going to say, did you put that in, luminar?
No.
Thanks, guys.
This image was shot at the aperture 11, so this is the f4 1635, and this had a polarizer and an ND grad. I think it was a 4-stop, and the ND 10-stop. So all in the combination. and darken the sky down a bit. So I wanted to get more highlights in the back of the distant mountains.
Yeah, there was there was a lot of atmospheric pollution there. But it's always the same here in Australia. When you want to shoot into the distance, you get that blue haze. There was a reason why you actually get the blue haze. There was what is it? Some sort of
atmospheric haze. That's
but it actually comes off out of the rainforest itself. That haze.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there was a bit of fire, and that you could see where my pointer is. That there was a bit of fire, but that's not huge to really do it. I've seen, but but yeah. So I didn't really do much editing to this. It's pretty much straight out the camera, and like I said, the top part. If I hadn't had the grad filter up the top part, that would have been just as bright up the very top, so
you were using your Benro filter system for this too, weren't you?
Yeah. So if I didn't use it, this color, this brightness here would have been all the way up the top as well. So as you can see, pretty much with the sun. But yeah, anyhow. But and using a CPL filter helps you bring out the greens and the blues a lot better too. Just remember that too, because I took the CPL, I took the glare off here, of this sort of water here, and you can see through the water. Yeah. If I didn't have a CPL, that would have been just like seeing the gloss on the water being slowed down. You wouldn't see nothing. It would have been like a bright highlight. So
I was hoping for more water flow there, because we last week we had all this rain here in this area, but unfortunately not enough. Still not enough. We want more.
And I just got one more image here that
one last image, and that's the end of the show, I think.
Well, actually, two more. So just quickly, we did a comparison. The three of us, who would take this particular shot to get a landing line of this tree, and we all come up with three different versions. So Mark and Michelle will see yours online in the group.
Oh, so, I actually had it in the video. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah.
So if you play it back, you'll see it in the video of the.
Yeah. So this was the actually, was this the 7200? Yeah, 7200.
70 to 200.
Yeah. And last, look, I love this shot. It was very interesting. Leading lines. It's all about leading lines. This shot that you're seeing. We just saw it in that. And the last shot that we're going to talk about ISO.
Brett, Riz is saying the static is really bad.
Is it?
So, not 100% sure how much longer we can go on with the show.
Oh, right.
Just make this your last picture. And,
last picture.
Unfortunately, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. As you can see, we are looking inside a tree, up. This is a 150-year-old strangler tree that the host that was 50 years old. The host was inside the tree and now has decayed and so forth. And completely gone. So this is shot on the A7 III, and
zapping.
And we're using the 24 1.4 G Master, and the ISO I have actually shot on this was where was it? 2500 600 ISO. It's just usable, but this was as I was saying. I wish I had the A7S III to test this out and sure because this is just sort of making it in that it's just usable. But if you can see what I was using, what I can see on the screen on the outside, this was actually F13 or 22, I think. It didn't quite get detail right on the outside. No, F9, sorry. So, but in the center, it's really, really sharp. But as it goes towards the edge, you get more noise and so forth. But I had to find a happy medium to try and get everything in focus. But
unfortunately, Brett, the quality on the screen
it's really shit.
Is really bad. So we just we'll probably have to close down the show now. Unfortunately, guys, it's been over 2 hours, so we did well.
Yeah.
So I hope, really hope everyone enjoyed the show, and I'm just gonna click us back to the last bits and pieces of us. Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening in again and being so loyal and showing us your good sides. It's been really good fun. Oh, what happened there?
I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. So
okay.
I didn't see the video glitch or anything. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's been one of these weird nights, I think. Yeah. So anyway, good night, Brett, and good night, guys, and hope everyone is having a nice week until we see you again on next Sunday again. Yep.
And thanks for everybody for sending all the images in and for creating and so forth. And hope you enjoyed the show. So, yeah. And good night from me.
So, all the best, guys. And thank you very much. And until next time. And here we go, Brett. Here's the outro.
Take care. And
see you all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.